Welcome to Knicks Home Court with your host. My name is Greg Armstrong. This is episode number 42. So, it appears that we have three Knicks balling out in the Euro Championships. Kristaps, Porzingis, Kooz, and Willy Hernangomez. Billy! Billy is balling. He's always going to shoot a high percentage because he's always by the rim, and he has a nifty touch around there. Kristaps is having all kind of highlights, dunking on people and shooting threes and blocking shots and things like that. I mean, Kristaps is going off, and that's good stuff. I like to see that. Also, there has been a Frank Ntilikina sighting in the gym with the other guys. So he's not just practicing. And, to speak of that, I want to talk about that because people have sent videos of Frank Ntilikina and saying he's going slow. He looks slow. And I'm like, folks, in practice, usually it's a walkthrough. You're learning moves. You're learning new moves. You're practicing. So when you play in real time, you can use your instincts. You're not supposed to think in real time. You're supposed to be instinctive based on your practice. So it's going to a lot of times look slower while you're still learning new stuff and trying to perfect your craft. It's ridiculous. The Dennis Smith crowd. It's ridiculous. I think people have lost their mind going crazy over Summer League. Anyway. Don't we know that Nate Robinson is in the Summer League Hall of Fame? And he's not in the league? He's in the Summer League Hall of Fame. Stop it, people. So anyway, Sasha Vujacic apparently signed with another team, non-NBA team. Yes, Knicks fans, you can all jump at the same time. Marv Albert, yes! Bang! From what's his name? I'm forgetting his name. Anyway, but don't get too happy because he has an out to a certain time. I think it's like September or something, right around training camp, in case the Knicks want to bring him back. I doubt they're going to bring him back. Again, I felt that him being on the team was Phil Jackson trying to push this triangle system, which I always mention on my podcast. I love the triangle. But if you hire a coach who doesn't coach the triangle, you cannot force him to coach the damn triangle. So that's where I've always been upset about this situation with Phil Jackson. I think it's ridiculous. So anyway, Sasha most likely won't be on the team. And then, I hear a lot of stuff. I just, oh God, when they got rid of a trainer that Kristaps likes, look, stop treating this boy like a baby. He's a grown-ass man, a giant grown-ass man. Rumor has it, Peter Vesey reported that Kristaps apparently avoided his exit meeting because Hornacek told Hernangomez to tell Kristaps to stop being a pussy. I can't make this shit up. Stop being a pussy. And look. He wouldn't be the first coach. Football coaches say worse. I'm not excusing him or anything like that. But again, Kristaps, hopefully this is a learning experience. But the way he didn't go to the exit meeting, he acted like a pussy. I'm sorry. He acted like a little punk. Dude, you got beef with your coach. Speak on it, homie. Speak on it. I thank God for my dad. He always told me, if you have a problem with a man, don't let it fester. Don't be passive aggressive about it. Walk up to the man, look him in the eyes while you're not angry. Before you let it build up, Walk up to that man and tell him what your problem is. Trust me, he'll respect you for it. At the end of the day, he may not change anything, but he's going to respect you. He's going to say, you know what, I know that Greg speaks his mind. And Kristaps had every opportunity to go to this meeting and tell Phil, like, yo, I'm not fucking with Jeff right now. He called me a pussy. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to do that, but I'm just saying, like, you know what? I figured that Kristaps had a slight problem with Hornacek when he was criticizing the coaching. He was like, you know, are we going to do 100% triangle or a little bit of triangle? He was kind of taking digs at Hornacek, and a lot of people didn't catch on to that. So, is it going to be a problem going forward? I don't think so. I think Kristaps wants to be a great player, and I think he's not going to allow... I think he's smart enough and determined enough not to allow that to stop him. And the better he is, the more control he'll have in the organization. And I think he understands. I think his family has explained that to him. But you can't walk out of exit meetings, and people who try to make it not a big deal, they need to shut the fuck up. Seriously, they need to shut the fuck up. Because if your boss calls an exit meeting with you, or any kind of meeting with you, and you just don't show up, you're gonna permanently not show up. So y'all need to miss me with that bullshit. I saw little clips of Damian Dotson, you know, playing out in Pro-Am, and that was pretty cool to see him playing. See, what you're seeing on video, you're not gonna probably see him. He's gonna probably be more of a spot up. You know, he actually reminds me. Now the more I look at him, he reminds me of Danny Green. Literally, just like Danny Green. Size, you know, he's strong, three-point shooter. He's younger, a little more athletic at this point. But he reminds me of Danny Green, who I actually saw play when he was in high school. It was crazy. Because he's from New York. So, you know, I look at him like that. And if he turns into that kind of player, 3-and-D player, that's a hell of a steal. You know, that's a great, great, great steal. So, I'm watching Frank Ntilikina cross people up. Now, one thing I'll admit, I'm looking at the video, and he doesn't appear to get by his man as much. He doesn't really get by his man. But one thing I'm seeing is that he will be able to bully his man. Magic Johnson never got past his man. He just go through you. He just go over you. And I think that having those long arms will help Ntilikina just go over people and through them. As far as the point guards are concerned, he can shoot over all of them. And that jump shot looks wickedly good. Wickedly good. So, I think he might be more offensive than we expect. I think he can be. You know? So, it's good to see all the Knicks in action. Hoodie Melo and everybody in action this summer. Again, I don't think Melo's getting traded. I don't think he should get traded. For the things that's out there, I don't think it's even worth it. If you suck with Melo, you get a good pick. Because he's never been disruptive to the team. And people acting like he needs to go so the Knicks can hurry up and suck. I mean, that's what they're really saying. Like, he needs to go so they can hurry up and suck. Let's see what Kristaps can do. Listen, if Kristaps is what we think he is, it shouldn't matter if Melo's there. He's not a baby. It's time for him to assert himself and become the alpha. Or at least become 1A to Melo. It's time for him to not go up the court and 3 and 4 and 5 possessions go by and he don't touch the ball. No, he needs to be an obstacle. Give me that motherfucking ball. He needs, and I mean that, he needs to be, like, I don't know, see, a lot of y'all don't remember, but Ewing, he would come down and once in a blue moon, he wouldn't get the ball past him because John Starks would just launch a 3 or something like that. But the very next possession, Ewing would come down, and whatever side the ball is on, he's posting up. If they pass it around, he go to the other side. You're going to give me that damn ball. Period. I've seen Carmelo do that. He'll go to the guy with the ball and literally damn near take it from him. Yes, that's what alphas do. That's what the team leaders do. I've seen Kobe do it. I've seen LeBron do it. If you're good, you don't go 3 and 4 and 5 possessions without touching the ball on offense when you're an offensive juggernaut. That's ridiculous. You go to the ball. And I know that Kristaps is a 7'3" guy, and he's not a point guard. He's not a shooting guard. But I just gave you an example of a player who was a center. So he can, get in the post, whatever. But you got to get that ball. Or open your mouth and tell them, give me the fucking ball. Period. I don't see why we got to make the team full of 20-year-olds just so Kristaps can assert himself. He got to do it. He got to do it. His time is now. And by the way, I see Kristaps as more of a scorer than anything. He's a good defender. I think he'll be a really good defender in the league. But I see Kristaps as more of a scorer. And don't be disappointed if he doesn't average a double-double. Because I could see him averaging something like 27 and 8 rebounds. Now, I'm not saying this year, but I can see him averaging in that ballpark. 27 points, 8 rebounds, two blocks. Many disruptions and deflections, or whatever you want to call them. I think he's going to be a really great two-way player. But he's really an offensive weapon. More than anything, he's an offensive player. He's a two-way player, but with great offensive ability and potential. I think he can even lead the league in scoring eventually. Once he realizes that he's 7'3" and he doesn't bring the ball down to his hip or tries to dribble, which he's still going to do, but once he realizes his height over everyone, he'll start just shooting over people. I believe he'll do that. And I see the same thing with Frank Ntilikina being 6'5", and most of the guards are 6'2", 6'3", things like that with short arms, Also, look for Frank Ntilikina to get quite a few blocks, off-ball blocks, on-ball blocks. He could be something special. I'm a big fan of his. Once I analyze everything, I'm like, I like this kid. So going forward, that's what I'm rooting for. That's what I'm hoping. Now, I heard somebody say it's just Melo's time to go, and I don't really understand that. I would rather keep Melo at this point because he has 2 years, one with an option. He's not opting out. But I don't see a problem with Melo being here. I don't see how that's holding the Knicks back from growing. I think the best way to grow is to win. Not to get lottery picks, is to win. It's to win. That accelerates your process. Winning breeds confidence. I always go back to Golden State. They were young. They made the playoffs. And next year they became a juggernaut. You'd be surprised with getting the smell of that second season can do to a player and do to a team. What I'm really hoping for with this Knicks team is that they build a core 6, 7 players that are going to play together for the next 5, 6, 7 years. That's how you build a winning culture, and that's how you build trust among players because they know they're going to be here. They know that they're going to make this work. I'm looking forward to seeing Tim Hardaway. I was going to say Timmy Hardaway. I've seen him in a little pickup game come up and pull up a 3. But again, I take all of this stuff with a grain of salt. This is pickup. There's not a lot of great defense being played. It's basically a glorified practice. Excuse me. Apparently, Melo has the little, he has the basketball court everybody wants to come and play in. I just wonder, where the hell is this court? Because it's an indoor court, so I'm just wondering, where the hell is this court? Where is it? Is it, how do they have this shit in the middle of Manhattan and nobody knows where it's at? It's probably down in Chelsea or somewhere in the West Village, or it could be in Soho as well, because I think they have all those lofts and stuff, and you could probably put a court in there. But Melo, like I always tell people, he does not want to leave. He does not want to leave. He wants to stay close to his son, and he wants to be here. Because he's like, look, I'm near the end of my career. I'd rather be in New York anyway. Unless I really had a chance to win a championship, and I don't think he really wants to go anywhere. So anyway, that's that. What else is going on in Knick land? And by the way, I hadn't put up a podcast before. I was on vacation. My apologies, folks. I should have mentioned that. But I am back, and the season is right around the corner, seriously. Now, I don't know how it goes with I'm sorry about the background. It's like really pouring outside. I don't know, like, if Kristaps gonna finish these games and he's gonna rest up, then he's gonna go to training camp. Because he's been doing a lot of playing and a lot of working. Now he's playing like damn near like serious ball, which will keep him in good shape and stuff like that. But he got an 82 game season coming up, so I don't know how it's gonna work itself out as far as that. Man, it's coming down, and I ain't complaining about it, but it's coming down. It's raining super hard out there. So anyway, I think Kristaps this season, I think this needs to be a leap year for him. I think that Kristaps needs to have an exceptional year this year. I think he needs to come in and literally assert himself from day one. I'm here. Like, nasty about it. He needs to come in being nasty. Dropping 30 here, 25 there, 40 here, 45. Just going off. Getting as many shots as he would like. I think he can handle it. And if he plays like that, Melo's going to be Melo. See, Melo reminds me of Ewing in a way. Knicks always, and I remember a big mistake the Knicks made, but the Knicks always had players that deferred so much to Ewing. Obviously, Ewing was the alpha, but they deferred to him so much that it was hurting the team. And I know they didn't have the talent, but it wasn't until they got a player like John Starks who said, you know, Ewing, you're good, but I'm fucking good hit too. I don't care. Shooting threes, and it wasn't until they got Derek Harper who just decided, you know what, I could ball out too. You know, you have to be that way. When you're playing with a star, you have to play your game. You can't completely shrink. But the one mistake I think the Knicks had made is that they had Xavier McDaniels. And during the season, he averaged like 13 points a game. But once the playoffs started, he averaged 18 to 19 points. He was literally what Ewing had been looking for his whole career. Another player who can go at it, who's not afraid. Ewing never cared if you didn't give him the ball. Just know what you're doing with it. Don't give him the ball and bullshit. No, and you know what? Fucking X-Man was going off in the playoffs. I think we should have resigned him, but Pat Riley outthought the room and signed Charles Smith. And the rest is history. The rest is history. You know, it's just rest is history. That's just how it went. You know. What else is going on in Knick land? Not really much else. Like I said, it's slowing. I mean, well, in the NBA, this thing's going on. I mean, the Kyrie trade has been finalized. He's officially introduced as a Celtic. I'm curious to see how this works. I think the Celtics, I think it's a sideways move, but it's a longevity-based move, but it's a sideways move. I don't think they're going to be better this year. I think they're going to be the same team this year. Actually, I think they might be a little worse because they lost Avery Johnson as well. So, but this is the thing I wanted to talk about as far as that too. There's a philosophy. Everybody wants to get young. Look, are you trying to win? People got to understand. Are you trying to win a championship or are you trying to build a dynasty? Because there's a distinct difference between a championship team and a dynasty. So everybody tries to. Now, some people say you want to build a young team so you can have continuous chances at winning. You know, you can be winning for the next 10, 11 years, but you just might be like right now, the Celtics, let's be real. All right, look at this team, right? Is this team a championship contender? Their best players, Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, is that a championship team? Because I know that Golden State have 2 of the top 5 players in the NBA, right? LeBron is number 1 in the league. Even Isaiah Thomas is top 10 at this point. So James Harden's top 5 player. Like, you need transcendent players to win in this league. And to me, unless Kyrie is going to average 30, which he could, and play good defense, which I haven't seen yet, I'm just saying. Now, We don't know what Jason Tatum might become or Murray. I mean, I think they're going to have... I think the Celtics for years to come with this move, if he stays in Boston, is going to be around... They remind me of the try-hard Knicks. They're going to be good and talented, but they don't have transcendent players. So be on the lookout. Be aware of a team like Milwaukee making a big jump, because Giannis, the Greek freak, is coming. You know what I'm saying? That might, after LeBron leaves, there's no guarantee that you're next. Even Kristaps might start averaging 30, because I think he's a transcendent player as well. You don't win in this league with just very good players unless you're Detroit Pistons. And I don't think Detroit Pistons had one of the best defensive teams I've ever seen, as well as top players, about 7 damn near all-stars on their team. I don't see that with them. They don't even have a shooting guard in Boston. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think they had a system and a formula. I believe that they should have made a move and got Butler. But I already talked about that in previous podcasts. I'm not going to get all into that. But I just think that that's what should have taken place. So anyway, they're in our division. We got to deal with them. We got to deal with the juggernaut called the 76ers as well. And the last thing, Vegas. So the Vegas picked the Knicks to win 30 games. 30 games. 2 games worse than last year. I think we won 32 last year. I think so. And I just don't see the Knicks winning 30 games. But again, hey, look, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm always going to be half full and half empty. I'm always going to be optimistic. I'm never going to be negative. Once I find myself being a negative Nancy, like some of these loser Knicks fans, I'm not going to follow the Knicks. I'm going to do something else. I have plenty of options to do other things than be a miserable fucking Knicks fan. No. Because what I do usually in the year is once the Knicks are like in tank mode, like in the second half of the season, if they suck, I'm not watching them games. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I think that doesn't make sense unless I'm watching for a specific reason. If I want to see how the young guys ball out, maybe I'll watch for that reason. But I'm not one of the people that, I got to watch every game even when they suck. No, I'm not like that. I'm just not that guy. But when the season begins, I'm like every other team. Yeah, I want to win a championship. I'm optimistic. And when I look at them say 30 wins, I see a team, if Melo stays, I think they can approach 40 wins, 40 to 42 wins. Because I'm basing this on Kristaps basically growing into the player that he can be. I'm basing it on the fact that Hornacek can basically coach the way he wants to coach without Phil in the stands telling him how to coach, in a system that's more pleasing to the players. Like I said, I love the triangle, but if they don't want to play the system, you got to change the system, dog. It just works that way. The NBA players always win when it comes to that. So, and then we still have Courtney Lee. We have an addition of Hardaway. Lance Thomas may be healthy. It looks healthy. He's a good defensive player. The Knicks can turn around and be decent next year. Especially if Melo stays. So, I mean, then you look and you got Indiana and Chicago is definitely tanking. So that's probably more wins for the Knicks playing against those teams. Our division may have gotten a little stronger. But see, you got to understand, last year when the Knicks were 14-10, last season, they were basically playing Hornacek's system. And I felt like Phil Jackson was like, nah, I'm not going to say he hated on his own team, but he kind of hated on his own team. He's like, no, we can't have success playing the way Hornacek wants to play. Hell no, shit. Then they're not going to ever do the triangle. And I just don't get it. But anyway, folks, I just wanted to put something up for you. Talk some Knicks basketball. I expect to really, I'm actually already getting excited for the season. I want to see Kristaps grow. I want to see him grow into the player I believe he can be. Dominant. I think Don't sleep on Billy. I think he can turn around and be a really good player this season in his second year. Because one thing the kid doesn't really have is fear. He just plays. Kuzminskis can be a good player as well. We have returning players. And Courtney Lee is a good guy to have off the bench. He's in the role that he should. Excuse me. He's in the role that he should be in. Damn. Excuse me. So anyway, this brings us to the end of episode number 42 of Knicks Home Court. I'm your gracious host. My name is Greg Armstrong. I'll speak to y'all later. Peace.